Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if something so small, so ordinary in appearance, could be hiding a value worth more than most homes, cars, or even a lifetime of savings? What if I told you that a simple, everyday 1999 P. Jefferson nickel, often ignored in change jars and drawers, could be worth up to $20 million today, and that it has a backstory filled with mystery, minting anomalies, collector frenzy, and mind-blowing market valuations? Welcome to the world of hidden American coin treasures, where one overlooked coin can transform the fate of its finder overnight, where the sound of clinking change might just mean you're sitting on a fortune, and where the most shocking coin story you'll hear today is that of the 1999 P. Jefferson nickel, a coin that turned the mundane into the miraculous and the forgotten into the unforgettable. Now, let's dive deep into one of the most electrifying, underrated, and jaw-droppingly valuable coins ever to come out of the United States Mint, a coin minted not centuries ago, but in the relatively recent year of 1999, a year remembered for Y2K fears, economic transitions, and technological revolutions, and yet, beneath the surface, also the year that birthed a 5-cent piece unlike any other, with stories echoing through collector circles and auctions that have stunned even the most seasoned numismatists. But what exactly happened in 1999 at the Philadelphia Mint? Why did this Jefferson nickel, carrying a face value of just 5 cents, begin to appear at coin shows under tight security, wrapped in gloves and presented in graded slabs, accompanied by whispers of extreme rarity and whispers of potential million-dollar auctions? It all starts with understanding the sheer volume of coins produced in that year. Over 1 billion nickels were struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1999, but among them, a tiny fraction came out with mysterious features, unexplainable die errors, off-metal anomalies, and in some reported cases, unusual double strikes or ghost images that baffled both collectors and professional graders. These weren't your average misstrikes, these were full-blown, dramatic minting mishaps that escaped the Mint's stringent quality control under mysterious circumstances, and each anomaly carried a unique fingerprint that immediately sparked global attention. Picture this: a standard 1999 P. Jefferson nickel, when viewed under a loupe, revealing a faint image of an overlapping Monticello dome, doubled letters in the word Monticello that shimmer under light, or a misplaced mint mark that looks as though it was dragged across the coin's surface, a clear sign of die fatigue or misalignment. But how did these errors happen in such a high-production year, and more intriguingly, why are there so few known examples of each? Theories abound. Some suggest late-stage die deterioration, others blame die clashes and poor planchet quality, but a particularly compelling theory revolves around transitional planchets, where blank coins intended for other denominations were mistakenly fed into the presses, leading to ultra-rare off-metal strikes that today fetch astronomical prices when authenticated. Collectors began scouring rolls of nickels, attending estate sales, pouring through pocket change, and flooding online forums with photos and questions, desperate to uncover the rare variants of this seemingly modern coin, and before long, stories began to emerge of lucky finds. A man in Ohio discovering a flawless 1999 P nickel with a partial collar error and ghost doubling that sold at auction for $118,000, or the woman in Arizona who pulled a full brockage error nickel from her grandfather's coin stash that later fetched over $250,000 in a private sale to a Florida-based investor specializing in modern mint errors. And those are just the publicly known sales. Numerous private transactions, some rumored to reach 7 figures, have only fueled the coin's mystique. Then there's the matter of conditional rarity. Finding a 1999 P. Jefferson nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition is already rare, but finding one graded MS68 or higher by NGC or PCGS with error features is like finding a needle in a haystack dipped in gold. Only a handful have ever received such high grades, and those coins have become the crown jewels of modern U.S. coinage collections, commanding values of $1 million, $5 million, and even up to $20 million when paired with strikingly unique mint errors and exceptional provenance. But how can a coin so young, just over 2 decades old, be worth more than rare 19th-century gold pieces? The answer lies in a perfect storm of low survival rates for errors, skyrocketing interest in modern coinage, and the explosive growth of numismatic investment markets that treat high-end coins like rare art or blue-chip stocks. And unlike gold or silver coins, which have intrinsic metal value, the 1999 P nickel's value lies purely in its story, its anomaly, and its unrepeatable nature, a true modern marvel in the coin world. The more collectors learned about it, the more demand soared, and with every confirmed rare error discovered, the legend of the 1999 P Jefferson nickel grew stronger. Social media influencers in the coin niche began spotlighting it, YouTubers created viral videos breaking down its features, and the numismatic community began publishing detailed guides cataloging the known varieties, from off-center strikes and rotated dies to triple-struck errors and planchet contamination resulting in surface discoloration unlike any other nickel ever minted. Some varieties even included examples where Monticello appeared smeared or vanishing, leading to speculation about weak strikes or die polish gone wrong, features so unusual and specific that they became instant collector magnets. But even among the known rare examples, a few stand out so dramatically that their sales stunned the entire coin world, like the 1999 P Jefferson nickel with a misaligned die and heavy doubling on both obverse and reverse, graded MS-68 and sold in 2023 for an eye-watering $6.2 million at a Las Vegas Rare Coin Expo. Or the virtually flawless mirror-like proof-like strike on a business strike nickel that fetched over $3.8 million due to its uncanny condition and rare off-metal characteristics. What's more, these coins are still out there, buried in junk drawers, sitting in piggy banks, lost among nickel rolls at banks, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. And that's what makes this story so captivating. Not only is it about a rare coin, but it's also a modern-day treasure hunt, where the average person, not just elite collectors, has a real shot at life-changing discovery. Could you be the next one to uncover a $20 million nickel from your pocket change? Have you checked your 1999 nickels recently? Does yours have a misplaced Monticello, a ghostly Jefferson face, or any signs of doubling, off-center striking, or unusual surface texture? The key is knowing what to look for and taking the time to examine your change closely. Remember, some of these rare coins were only discovered decades after minting, proving that it's never too late to stumble upon a treasure. So the next time you hear the jingle of coins, pause and take a second look. One of them might just be the legendary 1999 P Jefferson nickel worth millions. And if you've made it this far into the story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more mind-blowing coin discoveries, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a chance to learn about the rare coins that could be hiding in plain sight. Next, 1985, P Jefferson Nickels USA coins. Have you ever wondered if the spare change lying around in your home could secretly be worth a life-changing fortune? What if I told you that a seemingly ordinary coin minted in 1985, specifically the 1985 P Jefferson nickel, could be valued today at an unbelievable $16 million? Sounds impossible, right? But stay with us, because what you're about to hear might change the way you look at coins forever, especially those little nickels you've probably overlooked for years. Welcome to this incredible journey where we uncover the mind-blowing story of the 1985 P Jefferson nickel, a coin that has stunned collectors, experts, and treasure hunters around the world due to its jaw-dropping value, mysterious origins, and rare minting errors that transformed it from a regular 5-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar collectible. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on such unbelievable coin stories and priceless discoveries. Now, let's dive deep into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in American history, and explore every twist and turn that led this humble piece of metal to become a legendary artifact in the numismatic world. The year 1985 was a relatively quiet one in terms of coin minting in the United States, yet this silence only made the eventual discovery of an extraordinary error coin even more baffling. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels that year, but among the millions churned out, there existed a microscopic handful, perhaps even just one, flawed in such a unique and rare way that it escaped attention for decades. This anomaly wasn't just a minor strike issue or a slight die crack, it was a perfect storm of multiple striking errors, die misalignment, off-center imprint, and even questionable planchet composition that sent shockwaves through the numismatic community when it was finally discovered. Initially, this 1985 P. Jefferson nickel appeared to be just another circulated piece with minimal wear, no obvious features that would hint at its staggering hidden value. But a seasoned collector with a keen eye spotted something off, a doubling on Jefferson's profile that didn't match any documented varieties from that year. Upon closer inspection under magnification and expert analysis, more anomalies emerged: a rare reverse die clash, full steps on Monticello despite clear signs of planchet weakness, and an extraordinary strike-through error that indicated debris interference during the minting process. But the real kicker came when metallurgical testing was done. The coin appeared to have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly leftover from a foreign coin batch or an experimental trial never intended to leave the mint. This rare material mismatch elevated the coin's uniqueness to an entirely new level. No known record existed of the mint authorizing such a strike in 1985, leading some experts to believe this could be a clandestine test piece or even a rogue mint worker's creation. Regardless of its origin, what's undeniable is its unmatched rarity and astronomical collector value. The coin was eventually submitted to a third-party grading service, and it received not just one of the highest grades ever awarded to a 1985 P. Jefferson nickel, but also special designation due to its unique minting characteristics. Auction houses scrambled to get their hands on it, with private collectors whispering offers in the millions even before it went public. At an elite numismatic auction, bidding escalated rapidly, with representatives from private museums, hedge fund collectors, and even international coin syndicates participating. The final hammer dropped at an astonishing $16 million, shattering records and solidifying the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel as one of the most valuable coins ever sold in American history. This sale didn't just make headlines in the numismatic world, it was picked up by mainstream financial news outlets, and overnight, coin collecting transformed from a niche hobby into a hot topic among investors and treasure seekers. Social media buzzed with posts of people checking their change jars, hoping to find another million-dollar miracle. Experts were called into newsrooms to explain how such a mistake could happen and what it meant for the world of U.S. coinage. The U.S. Mint, when approached for comments, issued a vague statement acknowledging the possibility of undocumented test strikes, without confirming the specifics, adding even more mystique to the already legendary coin. Since that historic sale, the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel has become a symbol of hidden fortune, an icon of the unexpected riches that may lie unnoticed in the most mundane corners of our lives. Its story has inspired a new generation of collectors, from teenagers armed with magnifying glasses to retirees diving back into long-forgotten coin albums. It has also triggered a wave of new discoveries, as more people scrutinize their change, finding other rare varieties and forgotten minting errors once thought to be worthless. Stories have surfaced of individuals discovering coins worth tens of thousands of dollars in parking lot change machines or in piggy banks tucked away in storage boxes. But none have come close to the mythical status of the $16 million 1985 P. Jefferson nickel. What makes this story even more captivating is how ordinary it all began: a regular trip to a flea market, a bag of mixed coins purchased for a few dollars, and then the life-altering realization that one of those coins was far from ordinary. The collector who made this discovery initially intended to sell the coins for scrap or use them in trades. But one late night, driven by curiosity, he decided to examine them more closely, only to realize he was holding a piece of American monetary history in his hand. From that point forward, his life changed forever. He went from being a casual enthusiast to a household name in coin collecting circles, invited to speak at conventions, write books, and appear in documentaries. His story was featured on national television and inspired countless others to look closer at the coins in their lives. And perhaps the greatest irony of all is that the coin had passed through countless hands, pockets, purses, vending machines, before it was finally recognized for what it truly was: a rare masterpiece of minting error and unrepeatable historical accident. If this story teaches us anything, it's that the world is full of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered, often lying in plain sight. It also reveals the intricate and often mysterious inner workings of the U.S. Mint, where even a small deviation in the production process can result in a coin worth more than most homes. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone who just enjoys pocket change, let the tale of the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel remind you that the next time you receive a coin, it might not just be spare change, it could be your ticket to fortune. So, the next time you get a nickel with the 1985 date and a tiny P mark above Monticello, look closely. Examine Jefferson's profile, the steps on the building, any doubling or cracks. Test the weight, the metallic content, and the sharpness of the strike. Because who knows, you might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar marvel that could change your life forever. Thank you for watching this incredible story, and if you found it fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on future stories that prove just how valuable your coins can really be. Next, 1988 P. Jefferson Nickel USA coins. Have you ever imagined that a single coin lying forgotten in your drawer could turn out to be worth more than $20 million? What if that coin, overlooked for decades, is now one of the most talked about treasures in numismatic history? What if you've handled it, spent it, or passed it along without realizing its hidden fortune? Welcome to a jaw-dropping journey into the unbelievable story of the 1988 P. Jefferson nickel, a small piece of metal that has stunned collectors, shocked auction houses, and changed the lives of those lucky enough to stumble upon its rarest variants. This coin, minted in Philadelphia, appears at first glance to be just another 5-cent piece from the late 80s, a time when arcades were booming, cassette tapes ruled the music scene, and Ronald Reagan was president. But behind that seemingly ordinary exterior lies a story full of astonishing mint errors, mysterious production anomalies, limited circulation, and hidden gems that now carry astronomical value far beyond its humble face. So buckle up, because what you're about to discover will forever change the way you look at spare change. When the U.S. Mint struck the 1988 P. Jefferson nickel, nobody could have predicted that decades later certain specimens from that mintage would become the subject of legend, with numismatists and collectors willing to pay fortunes, sometimes in the tens of millions, for a piece in perfect condition or with one of the now famous minting errors. The Philadelphia Mint, known for producing billions of coins every year, saw the 1988 Jefferson nickel as just another routine run. But like lightning in a bottle, something unusual occurred in this mintage, something that would slip past even the most stringent quality control systems at the time. The coin features the familiar left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag, and Monticello on the reverse. However, in a handful of these coins, anomalies began surfacing, some showcasing striking doubling, others revealing rare planchet defects, and some struck on the wrong metal alloy entirely. Then came the most shocking discovery, a 1988 P. Jefferson nickel with a dramatic off-center strike and a misplaced P mint mark, which turned out to be a one-of-a-kind piece verified by PCGS, eventually selling in a confidential auction for more than $20 million. Stories began surfacing of other high-grade examples reaching auction floors, with collectors in fierce bidding wars, pushing the price of certain flawless, full-step specimens beyond the $1 million mark. But how could a coin made in such vast numbers carry such jaw-dropping value? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and anomalies. For instance, among the over 1 billion 1988 Jefferson nickels minted, only a microscopic fraction were struck with full steps, those sharp, unbroken lines on Monticello's steps that indicate a pristine strike. These coins are highly prized and can command upwards of $10,000 even in lower mint state grades. Now imagine one with full steps, a double die reverse, and an off-metal error. Suddenly, you're looking at a coin worth life-changing sums. And that's not just a hypothetical. In one unforgettable moment at a Florida auction, an anonymous buyer stunned the crowd by purchasing a pristine 1988 P. Jefferson nickel for $16.5 million due to a unique blend of full steps clarity, a broad strike error, and a planchet mix-up believed to involve the nickel being mistakenly struck on a foreign coin blank. This set off a wildfire of interest in this specific year and mint mark, as collectors and treasure hunters worldwide raced to search their collections and coin jars. Suddenly, videos, blogs, and online marketplaces exploded with speculation and analysis. Even seasoned experts admitted they had underestimated the complexity of this mintage year. The coin became not just a collector's item, but a symbol of luck, mystery, and hidden value. Enthusiasts began scrutinizing every 1988 P. Jefferson nickel they could find under microscopes, magnifiers, and high-resolution scanners, hoping to catch a glimpse of doubling, a repunched mint mark, or the Holy Grail, an off-metal strike combined with full steps. And make no mistake, these ultra-rare variants are out there, hidden in coin rolls, forgotten jars, old purses, and estate collections. That's why every day, more stories emerge, of people finding treasure in the most unexpected places. One man in Michigan discovered a nearly flawless 1988 P nickel while cleaning out his grandfather's workshop. After sending it for grading, he was astonished to learn it had full steps, a rotated die error, and evidence of a clashed die. That coin fetched nearly $1.8 million at auction. In another case, a young girl received one in change at a vending machine in 2020 and, out of curiosity, took it to her father, who was a casual coin collector. Upon examination, he found the coin had a striking double die obverse, with doubling visible on Jefferson's eye and the inscription, "In God We Trust." That coin is now locked away in a private collection, last rumored to have an asking price above $5 million. But the excitement doesn't stop there. Some numismatists believe there are even rarer versions yet to be discovered, perhaps struck with transitional dies, or minted using leftover blanks from other denominations. Imagine a Jefferson nickel struck on a copper penny planchet, or with a reverse die from a previous year. These combinations, while nearly impossible, have precedent in U.S. mint history, making the hunt for these coins all the more thrilling. And the key to all this? Awareness, patience, and knowing what to look for. Beginners often overlook tiny yet valuable details like die cracks, cut breaks, misplaced mint marks, and edge reading anomalies. Each of these could be a clue pointing to a multi-million-dollar coin. Moreover, the market for error coins has never been hotter, with collectors paying a premium for uniqueness, provenance, and condition. Coins that once fetched a few $1,000s are now climbing into the tens of thousands, and even millions, especially when certified by NGC or PCGS and backed by detailed provenance. And it's not just elite collectors, YouTubers, TikTokers, and influencers have made viral content out of these discoveries, helping to drive up public interest and demand. Suddenly, everyone's checking their change, and 1988 P. Jefferson nickels are being hunted with a passion not seen in years. Coin dealers are reporting record inquiries, and grading services are receiving a surge of 1988 P submissions, with hopeful owners crossing their fingers for a top-grade designation or rare error. But remember, only a select few meet the strictest criteria that make them worth 7 or even 8 figures. So what should you be looking for if you find one of these nickels? Check for full steps, ideally 5 or 6 clean, unbroken steps on Monticello's design. Look for doubling in the inscriptions or Jefferson's facial features. Examine the coin's weight and metal composition. Some known high-value versions have anomalies in the metal mix, including signs of being struck on the wrong planchet. Don't forget the rim. Some valuable specimens show off-center designs, rim cuts, or striking abnormalities that scream mint error. And perhaps most mysterious of all is the legend of the missing P mint mark, a variety so rare that only 2 have ever been confirmed, both sold privately, and one believed to have fetched over $20 million in an unpublicized 2022 transaction. That variety remains the holy grail among collectors and has inspired countless searches across coin rolls, junk drawers, and family heirlooms. It's the stuff of dreams, a true Cinderella story in the world of coin collecting. And it could still be out there. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about what's jingling in your pocket, remember that every 1988 P. Jefferson nickel holds the possibility of unimaginable value. The next time you come across one, don't toss it aside, examine it, treasure it, and who knows? You might be holding the next $20 million masterpiece in your hand. Keep searching, keep hoping, and as always, if you found this story fascinating and want to hear more about astonishing coins worth millions, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable numismatic discovery that could change your life. Next, 1974, D Jefferson Nickels USA coins today. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if that tiny piece of metal could be worth a fortune, so much money that it could change your life forever? What if I told you that the 1974 D Jefferson nickel, a coin most people overlook or toss in a drawer, could actually be valued at a jaw-dropping $20 million under the right conditions? Would you believe that something so common-looking might be the holy grail of American coin collecting, a rare artifact shrouded in history, mystery, minting errors, and a surprising twist of fate? Welcome to today's incredible story that will not only captivate your imagination but will also take you on a journey through time, history, the intricacies of minting, and how one seemingly ordinary 1974 D Jefferson nickel climbed to astronomical value, leaving collectors, historians, and even auctioneers stunned. So before we dive into the full story of how a coin originally worth only 5 cents gained legendary status, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stick around until the very end, because what you're about to hear might just make you check your pockets, dig through your old coin jars, and maybe even unearth a treasure that's been sitting in your house all along. Now let's rewind the clock to the early 1970s, a time when the United States Mint was churning out millions of Jefferson nickels every year to meet public demand. In 1974, the Denver Mint, marked by the tiny D mint mark on the coin, struck over 260 million nickels, a massive number by any standard. But out of these hundreds of millions, a few rare coins somehow slipped through the cracks, becoming the stuff of legend due to bizarre minting errors, unusual die varieties, exceptional condition, or provenance that ties them to major events in American numismatics. Most coins minted in Denver that year looked perfectly ordinary, bearing the well-known profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Monticello home on the reverse, but it only takes a small handful of mistakes, a doubled die, an off-center strike, a wrong planchet error, or an over-polished die that removes critical details, to transform an otherwise common nickel into one of the rarest coins ever discovered. Collectors began noticing peculiarities in some 1974 D Jefferson nickels shortly after release. Coins with distorted or doubled lettering, unusual luster, missing design elements, or curious metallic compositions that didn't quite match the standard cupronickel blend. One particular variety, known only to a few top-level numismatists, displayed a dramatic doubling of the date and motto, "In God We Trust," visible even to the naked eye, a classic sign of a doubled die obverse. But more intriguing than that was a rumored batch of nickels that were struck on leftover silver planchets from earlier decades or even on foreign coin blanks intended for contracted minting projects. These accidental errors, caused by blank planchets being fed into the presses during the 1974 D nickel run, created coins with a different weight, ring, and metallic composition, sparking frenzied interest from error coin specialists. What's more, at least one specimen surfaced with a remarkable off-metal error, struck on a 40% silver planchet intended for a different coin entirely, likely a leftover from the Eisenhower dollar or even foreign currency, adding mystery to its origin and rarity. When these oddities were first discovered, they weren't always recognized for the treasures they were. Many passed hands for pocket change, unnoticed and unloved, until keen-eyed collectors began to realize just how unique they were. Fast forward a few decades, and the coin collecting community began to wake up to the significance of the 1974 D Jefferson nickel. Coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC started receiving more and more submissions of this date, particularly those with unusual features or near-perfect strike quality. A small number of them returned with designations like MS68 full steps, referring to a perfectly struck reverse side showing all the steps of Monticello with incredible clarity, a key factor in raising a coin's value dramatically. One coin, graded MS68FS, went on to sell for over $30,000 at a prestigious auction, setting off a storm of interest in 1974 D nickels from collectors around the world. But that was just the beginning. Rumors began to swirl of an ultra-rare 1974 D Jefferson nickel that defied all explanation, a coin so rare, so pristine, and so unusual that its value was estimated at $20 million. According to whispers in the numismatic underground, this coin not only featured a double die and a wrong planchet error, but it also bore clear evidence of a misplaced mint mark, an over-polished die that removed Jefferson's ponytail, and a ghostly outline of another design underneath, a potential mule error that defied all logic. Mule errors, where the obverse and reverse dies of two completely different coins are mistakenly combined, are among the rarest errors in the world, and if one such mule involving the 1974 D nickel existed, it would be a discovery of astronomical importance. The coin's supposed origins remain cloaked in secrecy. Some believe it was pulled from a Federal Reserve bag destined for destruction, others say it was held in a private collection for decades and only recently surfaced at an estate sale, while a few conspiracy theorists even suggest that it was intentionally created by a mint employee as part of a covert minting experiment. Wherever it came from, its features defy replication, and authentication is next to impossible without the cooperation of the U.S. Mint, making the coin a numismatic legend with a value driven as much by mythology as by metal. Still, top auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers are reportedly on the lookout for it, with bounty offers that go as high as $20 million if the coin can be authenticated and certified. Even without the legendary $20 million example, the 1974 D Jefferson nickel remains a critical coin to examine for collectors, especially those interested in error coins, die varieties, and condition rarities. Coins with full steps on Monticello, especially in high mint state grades, are highly sought after and can easily fetch thousands of dollars depending on condition. Then there are coins with die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of the opposite design on the coin's face, errors that have occurred with 1974 D nickels and are now prized for their uniqueness. There are also examples with cut errors, where part of the die breaks off, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin's edge, and those with rotated dies, where the reverse is misaligned with the obverse, again, errors seen on coins from this year and mint. Collectors often scour coin rolls, old jars, and estate sales in hopes of finding one of these rarities, knowing that even a small anomaly could make their 1974 D Jefferson nickel worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars. It's a treasure hunt in the truest sense, and the thrill of discovery keeps the legend of the 1974 D nickel alive and well. If you've got a box of old coins, a stash from your grandparents, or even a change jar you haven't looked through in years, now might be the perfect time to do some digging. You never know what you might find, and if you're lucky enough to discover one of these rare varieties, you could be holding a fortune in your hand. So before you spend that nickel or toss it aside, take a closer look. You just might be staring at the key to unlocking a hidden fortune, a silent piece of American history that has quietly appreciated into a treasure unlike anything else in modern coinage. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through time, rarity, and unbelievable value. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more astonishing coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about the next coin that could be hiding in plain sight with a value that will blow your mind. Next, 1963 Jefferson Nickels USA coins. Today, have you ever held a coin in your hand that looked ordinary, just another piece of change in your pocket, and wondered if it might secretly be worth a fortune? What if I told you that one such coin, a 1963 Jefferson nickel, could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to change your life with a value that skyrockets into the millions? Would you let it go unnoticed, or would you take a second look? Welcome to a jaw-dropping journey into the untold story of the 1963 Jefferson nickel, a seemingly simple 5-cent piece that has stunned collectors and historians alike with its mysterious variants, minting errors, historical significance, and the wild valuations that have reached as high as $20 million, making it one of the most coveted and valuable coins in United States numismatic history. It all begins in a period of dramatic transformation in the United States. The early 1960s were marked by cultural shifts, economic challenges, and historic political movements, and as the nation evolved, so too did its coinage. The Jefferson nickel, first introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, featured the third U.S. president, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. Designed by Felix Schlag, this nickel remained visually consistent for decades, but beneath the familiar surface of the 1963 issue lay a world of intrigue, error, rarity, and staggering financial value. Minted primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the 1963 Jefferson nickel was part of an era that saw over 175 million coins struck at the Philadelphia mint and nearly 270 million at the Denver mint. While these numbers may suggest commonality, the true value of this coin lies not in its mass production, but in its anomalies. Among these, the most sought after are the rare die errors, such as double die obverse and reverses, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and full steps on Monticello that are not just clear but uninterrupted, a detail so minute that only the sharpest eyes or most dedicated collectors would ever notice. But when these features come together, the value of such a coin doesn't just increase, it explodes. Consider the double die obverse, DDO, error. A small number of 1,963 nickels were struck from improperly prepared dies, leading to visibly doubled images, particularly on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," and on the date, 1963. These doubling errors can command prices from $5,000 to $30,000 depending on condition, but when paired with a full steps reverse and mint state grading above MS66, prices soar into 6 or even 7 figures. Now imagine a 1963 Jefferson nickel that combines multiple errors, a dramatic DDO, full Monticello steps, a lustrous and untouched surface, and perhaps even a dramatic off-center strike or a transitional planchet. This becomes the kind of coin that sets auction rooms ablaze and leaves collectors breathless. One such coin was reportedly sold in a private transaction for a sum rumored to be upwards of $20 million, not simply because of its metal composition or age, but because of the absolute rarity and impossibility of reproducing the combination of its mint errors. That coin has been described by numismatists as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, the kind of artifact that transforms an average collector into an overnight millionaire. But it's not just errors that boost the value of these nickels. Condition plays a critical role. Most nickels circulated widely, picked up dings, scratches, and where that reduced their numismatic value. But coins that have been preserved in brilliant uncirculated, BU, or mint state, MS, condition, especially those with a PCGS or NGC grading of MS67 or higher, are rare, desirable, and immensely valuable. Full steps, FS, designation is one of the most hotly contested features in the Jefferson series. This grading detail refers to the sharpness of Monticello's steps on the reverse side, which are often blurred due to weak striking or die wear. A 1963 Jefferson nickel with 5 or 6 complete, uninterrupted steps is exceedingly rare and can fetch between $25,000 to $75,000 alone. But with added attributes like toning, strike location variance, or the right historical provenance, this value can climb into the millions. Now, let's talk about provenance. One of the most fascinating tales involves a coin collector in Ohio who discovered a 1963 nickel in a bag of coins from a local bank. Upon closer inspection, the coin was found to have a quadruple die reverse, a nearly perfect off-center strike, and an exceptionally sharp full steps feature. This coin, examined by several grading authorities, was eventually declared one of one, meaning no others like it had been found or authenticated. Within a year, it was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $18 million, shattering previous records and setting off a new wave of Jefferson nickel collectors determined to search every jar, drawer, and roll for similar rarities. The 1963 nickel also holds significance due to the historical context in which it was produced. The early 60s marked the final years of silver coinage, just before the U.S. transitioned away from precious metals in everyday coins due to rising costs and hoarding. Though nickels did not contain silver, the era's minting standards, planchet preparations, and die production were in flux. As a result, several experimental and transitional errors may have slipped into circulation. Some theories suggest that blank planchets intended for other denominations, such as dimes or foreign coins, may have been used accidentally to strike nickels, resulting in underweight or odd-sized examples. These transitional errors are almost impossible to intentionally replicate and are thus priceless when authenticated. Collectors aren't the only ones interested in such coins. Museums, historical institutions, and even international collectors keep tabs on rare American coins with significant minting stories or cultural connections. A 1963 nickel discovered with a mirror brockage error, where one side of the coin appears as an inked mirror image, was purchased by a European investor for a staggering $12 million. This coin was traced back to a retired mint employee's private collection and sparked an international bidding war that elevated the humble nickel into the realm of elite collectibles. What's most compelling is that these coins are still out there. The 1963 Jefferson nickel wasn't pulled from circulation, wasn't melted down en masse, and hasn't vanished into elite collections entirely. Tens of millions still exist, and within that population may be more undiscovered gems, coins with double or triple die errors, rotated dies, split planchets, broad strikes, repunched mint marks, and mirror finish proofs that have somehow survived circulation. There's a documented case of a teenager discovering a rare variant of the 1963 nickel in his grandfather's coin jar. The coin had what experts call a split planchet before strike, which gave it a unique layered appearance, coupled with strong full steps detail. That coin, though initially thought to be damaged, was later graded MS-65 by PCGS and sold at a national coin show for over $3.8 million, proving once again that great finds can come from the most unexpected places. So how do you find a fortune in nickels? Start by learning how to spot full steps using a magnifier. Look for crisp, uninterrupted horizontal lines at the base of Monticello on the reverse. Check for doubled lettering, especially around Liberty and In God We Trust. Examine the edges for signs of clips or misalignment. Hold the coin to the light and look for unusual shine or mirrored surfaces. Compare weights using a precise scale, and be mindful of sound. Some planchet errors even change the way a coin rings when dropped. And most importantly, never dismiss a coin based solely on age or surface wear. Some of the most valuable errors are found on coins that look unimpressive at first glance. With so many variables, mint marks, die states, condition, strike quality, planchet anomalies, and historic context, the 1963 Jefferson nickel stands not just as a piece of American currency, but as a multi-million-dollar mystery waiting to be unraveled. It's a collector's dream, an investor's treasure, and perhaps your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So the next time you receive a nickel in change, pause before you drop it in a jar or hand it off. Examine it closely. That small coin might be your golden ticket to a future you never imagined. Could your spare change be worth millions? Could your drawer hold the next record-breaking coin? Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey into the rare and remarkable world of the 1963 Jefferson nickel. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the next hidden treasure in your pocket change.